It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Well, this is going to ruffle some feathers, but I'd like to read a book. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the JEWs, and I did not speak out because I was not a JEW. And then they came for me. And there was no one left to speak for me. This was written by a Protestant pastor during the Holocaust, and it still rings true today. See, xenophobia is a tool of white supremacy. It is, and it always has been. And you have allowed your xenophobia, your need to delineate, to fuel you and Black Americans to be tethered to our version of oppression. This is not an aha moment. This is not an I told you so moment. This is deeply terrifying. Because while there is a country for me to be deported back to, this hate and hatred for immigrants that has distracted you into forgetting that you have always been their true enemy is what has led to them now having a tool to displace and disenfranchise even more Black Americans. Please understand that. Look at the cities that are being hit. These are not cities that have a high Black immigrant population. These are Black American cities. Wake up. They simply use your hate for us to distract you while they created this perfect weapon to use against you. And you help them. Please understand that. And you have allowed your xenophobia, your need to delineate, to fuel you and Black Americans to be tethered to our version of oppression. This is not an aha moment. This is not an I told you so moment. This is deeply terrifying. Because while there is a country for me to be deported back to, this hate and hatred for immigrants that has distracted you into forgetting that you have always been their true enemy is what has led to them now having a tool to displace and disenfranchise even more Black Americans.
Man, they have taken this Chicago raid and detainment thing to the head. And what always cracks me up about when I'm seeing these videos is that when they approach us about xenophobia and not fighting for the rights of Blacks and all this type of shit, is that they always come at us like they really schooling us on some shit. Like they come at us like they schooling the OGs on some shit, when in reality they should just be taking a play out of our book, out of our civil rights book, and using that as their tool instead of coming at us like we supposed to be just out here fighting on the front lines. And if we don't fight on the front lines for them, then that means that we're xenophobic and we have hatred for immigrants, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And it's like, what exactly do you expect us to do about your immigration issue? Like, what is Black America going to do? Like, it's not like we have any inside information about immigration and about being a foreigner, like, because we've been here since the inception of this nation. So how will we know how to manage your immigration problems? We don't know nothing about that. I can't tell you I can't tell you what you did wrong if you didn't get your paperwork right. If you get detained and questioned, then you just got to show your paperwork, make sure your shit is legit. But I don't know. I can't school you. I can't help you with that situation. And none of us really can because we're not immigrants. So this ain't about a hatred type of thing. And what's funny is that a lot of these this girl's what Jamaican or something. A lot of these people, like, y'all, we already know about the shit talking that y'all did. Y'all talked a lot of shit about Black Americans, like, oh, we lazy, we stupid, we uneducated, we baby mamas, like talking all of that shit about us, and then turn around as soon as you think you need some help and then asking us and expecting us to jump at the opportunity to help you after you spent years talking shit and talking down on us. We saw all the videos. We see what y'all be saying about us. So now all of a sudden when you need help, you think, oh, because we're both brown or we're both Black or whatever, all of a sudden I'm supposed to come to your aid. No, you can handle it on your own. Stand your ground. Like, don't continue to flee and expect other people to fix your problems the way that you did back in your home nation. You need to stay and you need to fit and you need to fix whatever is wrong. Like, I can't tell you how to fix it. I mean, really talking like y'all think that we don't know the issues that we've had in this country since we've been here, since the country has been a country. Like, we not aware of our own issues. Like, boo boo, you not schooling us or nothing. We already know all of that shit you talking. Like, we have been targeted and been detained and all types of shit all throughout the years. If some shit was gonna go down, it could have been went down. So it's nothing for us to worry about. It's time for you to fix your own shit. And that's all we trying to say. Like, all of that shit y'all was talking, all that shit y'all been talking about us. Manage your problems yourself at this point. I mean, that's because that's just how it's supposed to be. Boo. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
And you have allowed.
Well, I mean, as I start to hear more and more conversations about this, I'm leaning more towards the more. I'm not saying. I don't know. I don't know what viewpoint these people are, because they're not really. I'm not talking about black conservatives, but more of the let's stop lying to ourselves about what the Democrats are doing in these cities that are failing us, and then they want us to come outside and riot for these cities that ultimately kind of we destroying our own community, but they're using our violence along with immigration to come and invade our cities and our neighborhoods. But the fact that they're using ICE to go out to immigration, it's like, hey, then black people need to be staying out of this. But at the same time, when black people are being taken in and woken up in the middle of the night, and then checking everybody for warrants, as an American citizen, you violating our civil rights. But in a city that's full of crime, and in order for you to get some structure, you gotta knock some stuff down. You gotta knock it down and rebuild it, and that's just a fact. And that is, unfortunately, there's gonna be casualties in that. And I'm not talking about deaths. I'm talking about people being, their rights being violated, even though they're Americans. But see, that's why when things like this happen, and when ICE is coming through, black people don't need to be in the way. We don't need to be in the way because it's coming down on us. But the bigger issue is, how did all those illegal immigrants obtain residency in this apartment complex like that over the black people that were living there? Furthermore, these immigrants either had to be working or selling drugs. What were they doing? Because they called them a gang. Were they moving drugs across the city? What were they doing? How could they pay for all these apartments if it was overran by so many Venezuelan gang members? That's like. There's just a bunch of guys and no Venezuelan women or children not in the area. Like, well, I'm trying to figure out, because all they say is Venezuelan gangs. So all I could think of is just a bunch of guys with tattoos everywhere, and wife beater tank tops and some khaki dickies. That's all I could think of. But I ain't seen one. They haven't talked about if these people had families, what kind of operation they had going on in there. What about the landowner? What about the owner of the property? What role do they play in this whole situation that they rented out to so many? Like, did he get a cutback from the city or something? What happened? I'm trying to. Did those people receive any benefits that could have went to a single mother and their children? Is what I want to know.
I refuse to allow black people in Chicago to be co-opted to protect Venezuelan gang members.
Did you hear about the midnight raid in South Shore in Chicago? Here's what just happened and why this matters to you. Are you ready? Let's go. So last night in Chicago's South Shore, federal agents, ICE, swarmed a residential building. Did y'all hear about this? Okay. Now this was in the dark of early morning that this happened, and the operation actually left these black folks, these residents, traumatized. Because wouldn't you be?
But you know what? Democrats are literally the dim tail, and they're always going to make sure that they entrench cartel and Venezuelan gangs and whoever inside of black areas, so that the moment you try to get those people out, they can easily say, oh, and say they're trying to harm black people. They racial profiled the black people. Think about it. Chicago had a choice about where they dropped all of these illegal aliens off once they got transported here from the southern border. They had a choice, and they purposely entrenched them in areas with black people. Do you think that was a mistake? Do you think that was an accident? It's not an accident. They want to be able to say, oh, look what happened. The federal government is targeting and racial profiling black people. No, they're actually profiling Tren de Aragua. And I can give you some quick screenshots of multiple operations that have had to be done in Chicago, even in the last year or so, to arrest like 20, 10. Like, it's been multiple big groups of Tren de Aragua, however you say it, arrested here in Chicago because they are embedded in Chicago. So no, I refuse to play the race game that Democrats always want to play the moment they get literally discovered for doing some nasty mess. It's always, oh, look what happened to black people. No. Look at you all getting discovered for embedding the cartel in Chicago neighborhoods. No. If anybody was improperly accosted during that raid, I have immediate questions. Did you try to impede federal officers? Because you know what I would never do as a law-abiding citizen? I'm not getting in the way of any CPD, any police departments, and I'm especially not intervening and getting in the way of any federal officer. Especially one that is clearly doing an operation that they have warrants to do. The moment you start intervening, they now have a reasonable a real credible reason to detain you, which is what they did. They detained people who more than likely were impeding their operation. They had like 37 targets. Are y'all okay? And I love to see all these black people who didn't make a single video while all the black people on the south side of Chicago had to live next to gang members. International gang members are in these people's apartment building, but now you make a video. Now you make a video about what happened to them. The conditions of a lot of those apartment units looked atrocious as well, but I didn't see any videos. I didn't see any videos from all these creators who are so compassionate. I didn't see any articles from the Block Club about the terrible conditions those people were living in, because a lot of those apartment units literally didn't even have carpet on the floor from the article they posted. Did ICE pull up the carpet? Be so for real.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I have some agreements with her about the cartel being shipped to Chicago and in black communities. And this is probably where the Democrats would come into play, because Democrats are socialist and they fight for the underfortunate, because I don't know if they less fortunate, but they just in a situation where they coming from a country they say they're running from, you know, the threat of violence and stuff, but they are gang members in their respected country. So they come here, and it's crazy that they have these targets of people who are gang members. Why didn't they stop them at the border? Like, how did y'all put them on a bus and get them all the way to Chicago and then create a database? Oh, okay, we need to go get all these are the gang members that came in that unit. So did they take everybody, or did they just take the gang members? So that's kind of the questions I have. And the Democrats, they create the programs that put these people in these houses. I was wondering how these people got these houses in such vast majorities, when if that was an all-black neighborhood at one time, how did these apartments go to illegal immigrants over single mothers and children? it has to be a low income because they came over with nothing. So I'm wondering how this all happened, but of course, like, it's a deeper issue that needs to be explained, and somebody got paid for it. The apartment manager, a city councilman, of course, the whoever the Texas definitely got paid twice. They got paid to ship them there. Chicago got paid to house them. Now Texas is getting paid to raid. Chicago's gonna get ownership of that building, and guess what? That's gonna be a high rise, $2,000-3,000 a month apartments for, and getting those lower income black people out of there, and that school across the street is gonna be gentrified like a mug.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as quick as 1 week.